Everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will discuss the second topic, that is strategy formulation and strategic analysis. So basically, when I say strategy formulation and strategic analysis, you should first take into account that how the strategy is going to be taken place. To develop a strategy, what is the requirement? The first requirement is to develop a strategy, you need a strategic plan. So strategic plan is nothing but it is a plan of action which is prepared to achieve the organizational goals. So in every organization, their target has been already set. Like in books, we read that every organization's main objective is to either maximization of profit and second is maximization of wealth. So henceforth, in organization also, instead of traditional management techniques, the organization they are also developing a strategic plan so that this plan will help the organization to achieve their desired objectives. So here, when I say strategic plan, it means that intentionally the focus has been given on the utilization of resources. Then here, you are not only just planning, but instead of planning, you are trying to focus more on how you are utilizing your resources properly. Second thing, in case if there is any change in any of the environment, whether it's an internal environment or external environment, if there is any change, so you are changing your planning according to the changes which are having or which are occurred in the internal or external environment. Second thing is strategy is nothing but it's a pattern or a plan that will integrate the organization's values, policies, and action sequences into a cohesive whole. So when I say cohesive whole, it means that whatever the actions that organization need to perform, all that organizational actions has to be as per the values of the organization, as per the policies which are already decided. Then you can say the company or the organization they are having a strategy. Like yesterday, I spoke about one of the example how the strategies are being formulated by the companies. Like suppose if we want to take an example of any company, how the employee should be appointed in the company. The plan or strategy is being already pre-decided. Like there are many organizations, those who are going for police verification. Why? Because they don't want any of their employees, those who are having any sort of criminal background. And therefore, these organizations, whenever they are recruiting an employee, so they are not only looking at the employee's talent and all other things, but also they are trying to check the social side of that particular employee that whether this particular person it does not possesses any sort of criminal background. So this is nothing but this is a sort of strategy. And formulation of strategy is that it is an effective guide to action goals, the art that individual manager must develop, and it is a process that a well-managed firm it must implement. The strategic formulation is it's about it will help you that how you can plan the things and how well you can implement all those things. So after the formulation of strategy, you should focus on the goals of the company because strategy formulation starts with the deciding goals of the company. So here, goal means the expectations that the company wants to meet in the future, and for that purpose, what are the current or present situation or the condition in the company. So therefore, company's goals are nothing but here it is. It means that deciding the achievable targets which can be achieved within a specific time or to achieve that specific target you are narrowing down that particular goal to the objectives because your objectives are in alignment with the goals. So here the company sorry so here the company's results like the company's results or you can say the efforts of the companies are currently at making the achievable targets as well as deciding the financial as well as non-financial goals for the company. As I already spoke to you, financial and non-financial goals. So here the financial and non-financial goals means when the company decides that this year we want to accomplish the 10% of the net profit, it means that the company's financial goal has been decided that is 10% of the net profit. But when we say non-financial objectives, it means that we want to be number one in terms of quality while manufacturing of any of the leather products. So in that case, manufacturing the quality product, it's a non-financial goal of the company. So While formatting the strategy, every company has to decide in advance what the company wants to achieve in the future. And this is what we call it as a company's goals. So the financial and non-financial goals of the company, it should be decided for a specific period of time. Otherwise, it will be having of no value because everything has to be in the time frame only. If I decide that I would like to be the president of India one day, it won't have any sort of meaning. But when your time will come, what is the timeline for becoming the president of India? It should be mentioned before. When I say that I would like to be the president of India, it means that whatever the goals and targets that you are deciding and you are framing for your company or your organization, it means that all these goals should be framed within considering the time span, that within this time span you are going to achieve these sort of goals. So company strategic goals may be hard or soft goals. So in that case, it may be a financial as well as non-financial goals also. So depending upon the situation and nature and the type of industry, the goals of the company, it may differ. Now, you will ask me, sir, what is the role of goal in a company? So basically, goal plays an important role in strategic management because the goal will explain the relationship determination. Like goals determine the company's relationship with the environment, setting up the goals, and determining what organization want to achieve for their customers, for their employees, and for the society. Secondly, the goals will pursuit of the future depiction. Like the goals of the organization sets on the long-term situation of the company, and these goals they seek to set their short-term goals trying to achieve the future goals of the company. Goals of the company also involves the basis for decision making because whatever the decision that we are taking place in a company, all these decisions may have a greater impact on the goals of the company. Therefore, while taking the decisions in the company, goals will form the basis for strategic decision making because goals will try to divert the focus of the strategy. Sometimes what happens, suppose if any of the decision regarding hiring or like we can say laying off of the employee decision has to be taken in the company. So in that case, company has to think about what is the goal of the company, what is the objective of the company, what company has decided earlier in advance. And if this has been decided, suppose if we take that we should lay off the employees among the company. So in that case, what will happen? That whatever decision that you have been taken, that decision may go wrong because your goal was something different and your decision making has done something different. The goals of the company, they are the standards for the evaluation of the work because goals will provide you the standards, like the standard guidelines will be given by the goals for the work environment. The goals will represent the goal to be achieved in certain or specific period of time. Similarly, goals provide a sort of, like we can say, it's a kind of a tool that will help to achieve the, whatever target is being set. After the goals of the companies are being set, second thing while formulating the strategy is mission. So mission is nothing but it's a, like we can say, it's a target that company wants to achieve. And many of the times you may have been read or heard some of the mission statements of the company. So mission is nothing but it's a statement which includes the organization's philosophy as well as the purpose of the organization. When I say organization's philosophy, it means that the mission statement of the company, it clearly states that why the company has been established, what is the purpose of that company, what the company is going to achieve in their upcoming future. And therefore, mission of the company, it's a statement that will explain you about the organization as well as what is the reason for the link between the performing of the some of the social functions and attaining the objectives of the organization. So when I say it frames a link between the social functions and achievement of the organization. See, suppose if you want to shoot at the forehead of the particular target, in that case, what is your mission? Mission is to shoot at the forehead, like in between the two eyebrows of the target. So when I say I have to shoot in between the two eyebrows of the particular target, in that case, my mission will help me that what is my objective? My objective is to I have to shoot only and only at that particular target. So it will give me a link that what is the goal of the company and what objective I have to achieve. So this becomes a link between the functions and achieving the organizational objectives. Now the next part is vision of the company. Vision of the company is nothing but, when I say vision, something comes to your mind like eyes, open your eyes, or you can say just close your eye and think about your company, that where you want your company to be. That is, we call it as a vision. So vision is nothing but it's a descriptive image of what company wants to be or what to be known for. I hope every one of you are visionary in nature. For example, either while you are sitting at your home and listening to my lecture, you are closing your eyes or you are something about that you might wants to be or you might ought to be or you might should to be. Like suppose somebody wants that I should be so and so in future. I should be like an IAS. I should clear my competitive examination. Like I should be like a somewhat we say police officer. So this is your vision. Vision means that it is a descriptive image that what you want to be and what you known to be for. Like suppose in future after completing your education, like you want that everybody should know me for the social worker. So your vision is that you want to be a social worker. You want to help the people. So in that case, vision will remind you or remind us the companies about what the goals are. When you think that in the morning when you are getting up and when you are thinking that everybody should respect me, it means that you wanted to be a respectable person. Your vision is that you are trying to give respect to others. Automatically that your vision will remind you that what is exactly your goal is. And sometimes the revision is or you can say a vision is a statement like where the organization is headed over the next 5 to 10 years. It means when I say vision, it's like a person one who is guiding you because he is at the forefront. So similar way in organization also vision plays a role of a representative or the guide, one who guides the organization that where we wanted to be in the next 5 to 10 years. So basically vision is also a statement that indicates that mission to be accomplished by the management in the upcoming future. So this is we call it as a vision. Sorry. Now, the third point while framing the strategy which is required is setting up the objective. Objective is something aimed at or something sought to be. So when I say objectives, so it is nothing but the goal or a destination of the organization. That organization want to be there. Like suppose if I have started my business in local area, my business objective is that within 1 year I will have a shop at the district level. So that is my objective. So objective is nothing but it is a destination that organization want in future. So while fixing the objectives, you must keep in mind the interest of all the groups. For example, you should keep in mind the social aspects like government aspects like political, legal, national, international. Then you should also consider the suppliers, your customers, your subordinates, the top management, the board of directors, CEO, consultant, everybody's interest it should be considered while fixing the objectives of the organization because it will help you to achieve that particular objective. Suppose if it is not in the interest of any of the stakeholders of your company, in that case, you may not be able to achieve the objectives of the organization. Now we are moving on to the next part, that is analysis of the business environment. When I say analysis of the business environment, so here while formulating the strategy after deciding of the goals, mission, focus on the analyzing the environment of the company. So while analyzing the environment of the company operates in the premises or the area within which the company is being existed or it has been established. That area or the premises is known as an environment of the company. So here there are two types of business environment. One is internal environment and second is external environment. So internal environment consists of the organization culture, human resources, organizational structure, physical assets, the profit and cash flow, as well as the management. So this internal environment of the company plays an important role while formulating the policies because the culture, what sort of culture that your organization is having. Like there are certain organizations where you need to compulsory wear the uniform while coming to the office. You need to be like follow the strict rules and regulations whenever you are at home or at your work. So certain sort of cultures are being developed by the different organizations for the purpose of creating some sort of values in the market. Some organizations, they are having a very good human resources. So in that case, how the organization, they are recruiting the human resources, what is the policy for recruitment, what is the job profile of the company, what is the job description, what is the job analysis of the company, how the company, they are going to be analyze the performance of the employee, how the employees will be rewarded or they may be punished by the company. So everything has to be clearly understood before formulating the strategy. And the third important element is organizational structure. So when I say organizational structure, you should keep in mind that every company, they are having the different sort of organization structure, like line organization structure, staff organization structure, mixed organization structure, or committee organization structure. So it depends on the company's requirement that what sort of organization structure they want, because your organization structure will also play important role while formulating the strategy. For example, if there is a line organization structure wherein which all the powers of the organization of the company, they are vested with the chairman of the company. So in that case, the employee, suppose if he has any sort of problem, then he does not directly report to the chairman, cannot report directly to the upper foremost person, one who is having the major responsibility of the managing the entire organization. He has to report to the immediate subordinate. So in that case, it's like a orthodox, or you can say it's like a military type of organization structure. So to suit the uh, your strategy implementation, you need to restructure the organization structure so that everybody should be given an equal chance and opportunity to talk with each other. As you know, there are different sort of leadership styles also. So in that case, depending upon the requirement of the interested persons, the organization structure has to be set. Third is physical assets. Like to achieve the organizational strategic objectives, what sort of physical assets we have? We should make an analysis of it also. And the most important thing, like the lifeblood of the organization, is the profit and the cash flow. How much profit, earning capacity our business is having, and how much is the cash flow that organization possesses with them. So everything has to be analyzed in such a way that whenever you implement a strategy, you should know that how much finance you have with us. And third is management. Management is the most important internal environmental part, because managements are the person those who actually implement whatever the strategies framed at the top level. So therefore, sometimes the management philosophy is somehow they don't want a change in the organization. In that case, if the management does not accept the changes which are happening in the organization, in that case, your strategic management or your strategy implementation could not be successfully possible. So therefore, you should try to understand what sort of philosophy that your management is holding, whether they are accepting the change, or if they are not accepting the change, what are the reasons. You should try to give them the training, you should try to motivate them so that these management people, they will accept the whatever the strategic plan that you have been decided, so that the implementation of strategy can be easily done. Second thing is, this is all about the internal factors of the organization. There are certain external factors which are affecting on the strategy formulation, like the nature. Sometimes you frame all the things, good things about future that we will do so and so, but as you know, nature is uncertain. It's unpredictable. There might be certain sort of like flood is going place, that is the coronavirus is prevailing in the economy, and therefore so many businesses are going to be suffered. So natural environmental factors, they also having the greater impact on the strategy formulation of a company. The second and the most important factors are the economical factors. Economical factors, like there are certain sort of economical changes. As you know, every 6 months, the Reserve Bank of India, they are announcing the policies of like monetary policy and fiscal policies are being announced by the government of India. After the announcement of the monetary policies, the rate of interest on the loans as well as the savings, they are getting changed. So depending upon the economical situation, like as you know, if you currently go in the market and ask for the loan, you will get the loan at a very cheap rate of interest. But after the COVID has been over, or after 10 or after 5 years, if you go in the market and if you ask for the loan, you will have to pay the more rate of interest, because economy might be stable after the 4 or 5 years. So these economic conditions, it decides that whether government is trying to control the flow of money in the economy, or whether they want to just circulate the money into the economy. So all these things are dependent on the economical factors. There are certain social factors also. So while framing the or implementing the strategy, the social factors has to be taken places, like what the society wants right now. As you know, recently there is one amendment Like if you want to marry for the girls, the minimum age should be of 21. Instead of 18, now they have changed to the 21. It means that society's expectations, they have been changed, and accordingly the law has been made. And therefore, whenever the social expectations of the people, they are getting changed, automatically it will affect your strategy. So therefore, before formulation, you should focus on the social factors also. There are certain political factors, like when the state government and central government both are having the same political parties representatives over there, automatically their plans and policies, they are easily getting implemented in the state. But when there is a central government is being ruled by someone else and the state government is ruled by some other party, in that case the political confliction between them, they may not able to help the companies to implement their policies or strategies properly, because sometimes the state central government, they announce some sort of policies for the business, but unfortunately the state government may not be able to implement in a proper way. So in that case, the political factors, they also impact on the strategy formulation of the company. There are certain ecological factors. Ecological factors in terms of, like, when you implement your strategy, what sort of impact that your strategy will create on the environment. Whether your strategy, it will make a damages to the environment, or whether your strategy will able to help to sustain the environmental conservation or not. So these things has to be considered before you frame the strategy, as well as there are certain international factors also. International factors in the sense that what is going on beyond the national territories. What sort of changes has been taken place in the other countries? All these changes has to be implemented in your organization strategy. Otherwise, whatever the strategies you are framing, it will not be up to the mark. It will not be as per the current situation. And therefore, whatever strategies framed or that strategy you are going to be framed, that will not help or that will not be able to implement it at the international level. So therefore, before formulation of the strategy, goals of the company has to be decided in advance. The objectives of the company has to be set, that the vision of the company has to be properly framed, and afterwards the then and then only you can go for the formulation of the strategy. Now, the next point is about the social responsibility and the strategy. So here, what is the connection between the social responsibility and the strategy? So first, let me clear you what is meant by the social responsibility. Social responsibility means that a company is being established in the society. They are taking all the resources from the society, like the company, they are using the finance from the society, they are using the manpower from the society, they are also using the natural resources for the purpose of manufacturing and rendering of the services. So automatically, where the company is staying, the company must take responsibility about the social things which are happening around them. So therefore, let me give an example. I hope everybody has been heard the name of the Tata Group. So Tata Group, they have been very good example of the social responsibility, because they have been taken the responsibility of the Jamshedpur city. As you know, there is the one city called as Jamshedpur, which has been undertaken by the Tata Group of companies. So in this Jamshedpur, everything is like the basic infrastructure of that particular village up to the modern facilities. Every responsibility of that particular village has been taken over by the Tata Group of companies. Therefore, the roads of that particular village, they are being developed by them. The electricity facility, water facility, road facility, all the basic infrastructure problems as well as the social problems and economical problems of that particular that village has been undertaken by the Tata Group of companies. So automatically, the Tata Group wants to show the other industries that we are not only earning the profit, but also after earning the profit, some part of the profit we are trying to spend on the people, those who have helped our business to grow in such a level. So this is what we call it as a social responsibility and the strategy. So here, the first social responsibility of the owner is toward the society is that owner should think that when he earns money or when he earns the profit from the society, it should be his responsibility, either moral responsibility, that he should at least spend some sort of money on the social aspects. Now you will ask me, sir, what is the social aspects? Like there are certain social problems where the government is struggling very hard to solve that particular problems, but they are not, they may not be able to get the solution for that purpose. So in this case, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to try to help the government. For example, there is a great problem of hunger. There is a great problem of like the people are many of the people, they are like striving because they are dying because of hunger. Many people that is not able to take the education. Many people, they are still in the tribal areas. They are not coming out of, or out of that particular area. There are many people, those who does not have the access up to the electricity, drinking water facility. There are many people, those who are suffering from the cancer, AIDS. So these are the social problems. So your company, being a corporate citizen of that particular area or of that particular region, they should try to have some sort of responsibility towards the society. So it's a responsibility of the owner that whenever he frames the strategy, he should frame a strategy in such a way that it should not just only earn the profit, but also after earning the profit, certain sort of that particular money, it has to be spent on the social aspects. Second thing is that employees. Whenever corporate social responsibility has to be performed, the company should think about the employee, because employees are the building blocks of the organization. They should be treated like a partner instead of the employees. The reason is, if you consider your employee as a partner, in that case, they will feel very proud. They will get motivation. It's a non-financial motivation, obviously, but when they will work for your organization, what they're expecting, if I have been work for this organization and because of my work, if this organization has heard huge profit, why don't they share their profit with us? So automatically, in strategic management, the responsibility towards the employee is being automatically getting increased. So here I'm not expecting that every company, they should distribute their profits to the employee, but also they should try to develop the employees. Development in the sense of they should give the facilities to the employees, like medical facility has to be provided by the employer. They should try to give the education to the children of the workers. They should try to give them the leave travel concession. There are so many loyal and they can be retained in the company, and the migration ratio of the employee migration ratio of the company, it can be minimized. The next aspect is about the customers. I always say that Mahatma Gandhi says, like a business without ethics is like a seasonal dish. It will satisfy your hunger, but it will not taste good. The reason behind that particular proverb is that when you think that who will be my customer, second thing that you should think about how you are thinking about your customer. Like suppose if I am rendering one of the services or the product to that particular customer, whether this customer is happy at whatever he is getting, whether this product it will not harm in future. So you don't just think about the present situations, but also you should think about the future of that particular customers, like after utilizing that particular product, what will be the future outcomes or future repercussions that the customer can faces. So it should be also considered whenever they are framing the strategy. And the other factor is like suppliers. Suppliers, they are the lifeline of the organization because they supply raw materials to the organization on a very timely basis. So in that case, automatically it becomes your responsibility that as they have been provided you the raw material within time on the basis of credit, so it's a responsibility of the organization that they should earn the sufficient profit, so that out of the profits earned, first of all, they should try to perform their obligations toward the supplier, so that supplier will also able to get their payment within the time which you have been promised to them. So automatically it becomes a social responsibility that an organization, he or she must have to earn the profit so that their suppliers won't be suffer. And the last is the responsibility of the company toward the community at large. When I say community, every problem of the society, it comes in the community. Like suppose if you want that you should able to provide the education to the community, like as I already told you that there is an example of Procter and Gamble. This company, they are having a strategy like after the selling of each and every product of the Procter and Gamble, the 2% of the whatever revenue that they are getting from that particular sale of the product, the free of cost education towards the society. So automatically there are certain underprivileged group wherein which nobody is focusing, and as